Good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing so great. How are you?
Good morning.
Yes, it is a beautiful morning. You had a service earlier this morning. What did you have?
Yes, it's a couples fellowship.
Well, they call it a family fellowship, but we go
Yeah.
as a couple. It's a family fellowship. A couple of our friends started it actually at his 60th birthday because he does a fellowship with some other gentlemen, which Carlos is now doing. It's like alternates every Saturday. And because he was celebrating his birthday and all the family was there, he's like, you know what, let's do it this Saturday. And it's continued since then for a couple of years now. And it's basically his family and friends from all over the US. And it's been really powerful for us.
But tell me, before we get into introducing this whole thing, how important is it to have a couples thing that you guys are doing? How important is it that you have a community that you can do together?
It's very important. I believe it's vital. In addition to the fellowship, we also do a therapist session, right?
Great.
We have a very strong relationship. We did our initial introduction the other day, and it's something that prior to my release, we had came up with a game plan to keep us on track. Like, okay, these are the things that we're going to do to keep our foundation strong. And just in case for whatever roadblocks that may challenges that present themselves, we're going to have this plan. So, to help us
Yeah.
in
And
the event.
I feel that we both are really strong communicators. I do believe that GOGI helped in a lot of ways to just strengthen our communication. But we did agree, not because we thought that there was going to be a problem, because we have a strong, healthy, communication-filled relationship now. But I think because it's such a massive transition, right, for both of us, that we wanted to create a space that, in the case that we needed to resolve any new issues, or as he used the word, roadblocks that may have popped up, we had a space to say, okay, this is where we're going to have a space to really address those things. And it might be that 6 months down the road we're like, we really don't need this, we're great.
Right.
but we just wanted to, it's like a bumper, like a safety net.
Yes.
A lot of guys I know, not so many women, but a lot of men say, I'm not going to counseling. I don't need counseling. How did you guys utilize counseling or therapy as a way to strengthen the foundation rather than repair a hole in the dam or a flat tire? How did you, Carlos, you may not always in your life have thought, let me go to therapy.
No.
Most men really, especially if they've done a lot of time, they're thinking, oh, the last thing I need is to go to therapy. There's nothing wrong with me. I've worked on myself. I've done all this. How did you say, you know what, getting that third person to listen to us, to help us is a good thing, and it strengthens me as a partner? How did you get to that point? Because usually a man will go to counseling if his wife is forcing, I'm going to divorce you if you don't go to counseling. It gets very ugly. And so the counselor is sitting there saying, oh, my Lord, how do I help these people get back to love? How do you use it as preventive or reinforcing? How did you get to that, Carlos?
It's just basically out of knowing that I was incarcerated for a long time.
How many years?
Almost 25 years. A few months shy of 25 years. So it wasn't just this let's do therapy, because I wanted it to be away from, there's nothing wrong with the program CDCR offers. They offer some good programs. There's a lot of good things happening in CDCR right now as far as rehabilitation happens. But when it comes to their mental health, that was something that I wanted to move away from, because they offered it to me already, and I'm like, no, I'm doing something already with my wife. It's something that we sought out for ourselves, our own safeguard. So that made me feel more comfortable. So I'm not saying don't get it, because you need it. Get it however you could get it, right? This is just how I chose to go about it, my comfort level with my wife. And I think it's going to be a very positive reinforcement for us. I signed up for the gym, I ran into a therapist that works at Donovan, and he seen my tattoos and he was like, "Oh, hey man, where'd you get your work at?" And I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna be honest with you, I got it inside." He was like, "I kind of seen it." He's like, I'm a therapist, psych tech in Donovan." And I was like, "Oh," he's like, "Yeah man, how much time did you do?" And I was like, "Oh man, I did almost 25 years." He said, "Welcome back to society. How's it feel to be in a real gym?" I said, "It's amazing." Right? I'm like, "This is literally like my third time in the gym." And so he asked me how I was dealing with, reintegrating, and if I had a therapist. And I told him, "Yeah, I'm doing something. My wife and I, we got a couples therapist lined up for us." And he's like, "Oh, that's good. What about one-on-one?" Like he didn't come directly and say, "Oh, well, I could do it for you," but I was getting that it felt like it was going there. And I
Yeah.
was just like, I'm really trying to get away from the institutionalized.
Yeah.
Like I've seen so many psych techs over the years.
Mhm.
So it's like now I want to do the free ones, like for couples.
Yes. Yeah.
If I could do it inside for myself, of course I'm gonna do it with my wife.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even if there is no problems, it's good to just do a checkup.
Yeah. Christina, how much confidence do you have in this guy?
And this guy,
Yeah.
100%. I had more confidence in him than he had in himself initially. Yeah, I think that a lot of people didn't understand why I would marry somebody who's incarcerated, right? I didn't marry the circumstances, I married the man. He is such an incredible person. His characteristics, he's just an incredible person inside and out. And I continuously saw and witnessed him and his possibility, right? Not his circumstance.
His actions, is that what you saw him making those choices, or how did you know? I mean, you aren't living under the same roof. You're limited to maybe weekend visits and phone calls or text messages or whatever. How did you see that? What was the evidence that I know this man and I know that he knows who he is? What was the evidence?
Yeah, I think that first and foremost, you have the thought of the possibility or the faith that he is going to, in a sense, redeem himself. Or I think that's maybe a poor choice of words, but more so that he will live into his possibility, right? But it doesn't mean that it happens like this, right? Just because I'm like, we were married while he was incarcerated for 9 years, married for 9 years. So in every year that passed, it's a long time to live without your partner and the person that's your best friend. And so there's a lot of sacrifice, right? But I think that when you don't expect everything all at once, myself, I see myself as a work in progress, right? I'm a work in progress. But when you see somebody, I think he constantly would communicate, you know what? After our communication and whatever we were working through, he would say, "I'm going to work on that. I'm going to work on that." And he would take responsibility and ownership over, and myself included. In fact, I think he's my example. Like I have to work better at that. He's a prime example of that and really applying what he talks about. And I feel like it's exemplified in that, right? In him saying that he's going to improve something, and he does, and there's fruition there. My Aunt Linda even said that in his coming to the real world outside of being incarcerated, that she was very impressed because she has witnessed other people come out of being incarcerated and integrating into society. And she was very impressed, her words, very impressed by his adjustment, his ability to adjust so quickly.
And Coach Carlos, what was it that allowed you to adjust so quickly? We've had students that actually go into a grocery store and just the sheer volume of choice makes them sick to their stomach. We have individuals that just don't make an easy transition in relationships. They're always watching the window or the door. They got to put their back up against the wall. They're living with this thing. And you've made a very smooth and easy transition into this life. What was the key? How did you do that?
Well, your support network, that's your foundation foremost, right? From my pastor, right, to the connections that I made with guys from ARC that are here in the free world, the guys from Healing Dialogue in Action, right? All these guys that have done it.
Programs that you would engage in
Yes.
programs and then link to the outside.
Yes. GOGI, other GOGI coaches that I know that have also been released and they're also successful, right? So it's like I try to get knowledge and experience from everybody, little here, little there, right? And it's as many groups and classes that I've attended, there's a lot of things that weren't covered. I was thought like, okay, I'm prepared. Like, I've been soaking all this in, right? And people that have reintegrated, people that had did long periods of time in prison that have got released and now their lives are on track. They're successful. They have careers, right? But there's certain things that still I was not informed about. And I was like, oh my God. It was like the last second. They're like, okay, now this is what you got to be prepared for, right?
So you're walking out the door and they're saying, oh, by the way, this and this and this and this.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, okay, like I got my boots laced up, right? I got my hat on tight. Like, okay, let's go.
What were some of the things that surprised you?
The large crowds, right? Nobody really prepared me for that. Like, it's going to be challenging being in large crowds,
Right.
right? How loud it gets, the noises, retaining information, so many things. Like, I've had, illegal cell phones in prison in the past when I was still not on my right path, right? And so I'm thinking, oh, I know how to use a cell phone. Like, no, it's totally different in the real world, getting an iPhone and like just trying to dial a simple phone number. I keep push the phone button. And I'm like, and all kinds of stuff pops up. I'm like, man, I just want to use the phone. I just want to make a call,
Right.
And I'm like, I can't get to the dial pad and it's frustrating. Trying to get my life, my foundation back on track, like resurrecting yourself basically from Social Security to DMV. We just had a snafu the other day where I was trying to call the credit union. So I'm like, I need to start taking initiative, right, for myself and doing things on my own. So I'm like, I know how to Google. Let me call the credit union, right? The credit bureau. So I get on Google, the first one, it says credit bureau. So I click on it, credit bureau helpline. I click on it. It says call. I push the button. I'm get connected, right? Thankfully, I put it on speakerphone. My wife happened to hear who I'm speaking to. She's like, who are you talking to?
It's not like how the credit, like TransUnion or Experian would speak. They were basically selling them on a credit card.
Of course. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah. So
what I'd like to do
very
is
confusing.
So for a man who would like a good woman, what is your recommendation to all the men who are watching that are saying, man, I wish I had a good woman? What do they need to do to get a good woman to be as committed to them as you are to your man?
I would say first and foremost, it's going to maybe sound possibly cliche, but your program is called Getting Out by Going In, right? And I think a lot of the themes of what we're talking about, it's like at the core, it's about going within yourself, right? If you want to find a partner that exemplifies certain traits, trustworthiness, love, passion, whatever it is specifically that matters to you, I think there's a lot of universal agreements, I think, amongst people for a good partner. But what it is that you're specifically looking for, I think that you need to go within yourself and really work on those traits within yourself. Mm-hmm. Because like Carlos said, when he started doing the GOGI method and started exemplifying for within the prison, right? Because we had a lot of positive stuff within ourselves, which is what kept me within our relationship, which is what kept me in the relationship, right? Is our connection, our love. But then he started exemplifying this positive, being a positive community member within the prison because of the GOGI method. That's because he started going within himself, right? And then outwardly, he started attracting other inmates that were on the right path, that were doing a good thing, that were, really making a positive difference in others' lives. And then he started becoming that way as well, and attracting those people around him. So when you ask about a partnership, I think that that's key. Is really working on what it is, defining what it is that you're looking for in a good partner, and then working on those traits within yourself.
So whatever it is you want the partner to show up with, trustworthy, loving, kind, you have to be that. You have to be that to be able to attract it. Would you agree, Coach Carlos?
Absolutely. I do agree.
For
100%.
a woman who wants a man like you, a woman that's saying, man, I wish I had a Coach Carlos. What maybe for 22 years, people are saying, please, no, don't make my man a Coach Carlos. But now, the kind of man you are now, women would say, I feel safe, I feel secure, I feel heard, I feel respected, I feel adored. She's nodding yes. What does a woman have to be to attract a man like the man you are now?
I know her since I was 14. So we had a history. And no matter what, I never gave up like that hope of reconnecting with her. Mm-hmm. So, like
from the beginning, there was something about her that you said, I like her. Mm-hmm.
I told her she was the one that got away, for sure. As cliche as that sounds. So I never stopped like trying to reconnect with her. Mm-hmm. And we had lost contact for a while, but we reconnected. And as soon as we reconnected, it the rest is history.
What did you like about her? What were the qualities that she had that set her apart from all the other women?
Like that, being a real woman.
Like, what's a real woman? If I'm a woman, I'm
responsible, loyal, like having her heart, like her spirit strong. Like, it's crazy. Like in the world today, it's real different now with girls nowadays. And I see that out here, right? From the way they dress, from the way they carry themselves, just the way that she had always carried herself, the way that I always knew her, everything from our interactions together, I always knew that she was a good girl. So that's what attracted me, right? Nobody likes shooting fish in a bucket, right? Like nobody likes something that's easy. And good things don't come easy. And she's just always been a good woman, a good girl. Not just that, who she is, right? What she stands for, like working, volunteering, like moving to India, right? To go work in monasteries and stuff, like, right? It's hard. That's a hard, you're not going to find somebody like that.
Right.
It's very rare. You know what I mean? It's very rare. Not everybody does that type of stuff. So when you find a woman like that, that's basically selfless and is a real giver, like that to me is where I give her my whole heart.
Yeah. I love hearing that. I love you as a couple, and I'm so proud of both of you for laying such a solid foundation. And I want to have you back again. Maybe, I don't know, give it some time and connect back up with me again and say, we have another story to tell. We want to share more about our story, because relationships are vital. They're crucial. And there's something that people on the inside don't get a lot of hands-on experience with. So I would love to have you both come back and just talk a little bit more about how to do it, how to navigate when you come up against those roadblocks. Like Coach Carlos says, how do you navigate them with love and genuine interest in each other? I'd love to have you guys back if you wouldn't mind.
That's an honor. And
yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Christina, do you have any last words you want to say to our viewing audience and all of the individuals that clicked on here to kind of hear what you had to say?
I think that something that came up for me, and again, maybe it's a reiteration or a theme, is something that I felt, moved to share was that wherever you are, just remember you are not your circumstances, wherever you are. And I think that's what I love, even about the title, Getting Out by Going In. It's an opportunity for you to really look inside and know yourself and discover yourself and love yourself and see and accept that possibility, because every single one of us, no matter what our past is a possibility. We are always a possibility. We don't have to be our circumstances, our surroundings, or our past, right? And for every day we're living into our future with the choices that we make in this moment. And so I just invite everybody who's watching to discover that for themselves if they haven't. And if they already are in that discovery, keep going, because it's a beautiful journey.
I love it. Coach Carlos, last words for our students.
Just, really give yourself a chance. Give yourself a chance. Put yourself in the best position. You're already in a bad position. Change it for yourself. Put yourself in the best position you could be in. And that's by stepping up and getting into a program like this. Just seeing for yourself from one day to the next, man. I'm here. I'm at home. My life is starting. My career is starting. I'm already enrolled to Grossmont College for medical trade, health science, so I could become an MRI technician. Still going to focus on this type of work as well. We've been married 9 years, going on our 10-year anniversary. We're not sure, maybe 10 or 11-year anniversary, because it's so sudden. We're going to get remarried, renew our vows, but like in a real wedding aspect.
I want the pictures so that we can share them with.
No. You're invited.
Oh, I'm invited. Yeah.
You're invited. You're invited for sure.
Wonderful. Well, I appreciate both of you so much. I'm so proud of you. And what a wonderful, fine example you are of deciding to make that change and doing whatever it took. And look at the freedom now that you both enjoy. So congratulations. And thank you for being such a fine example of getting out by going in. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for creating such a great program that really had an impact on me and literally changed my life. Literally.
Thank you, Coach Taylor.
Thank you.
Thank both of you.
G-O-G,